Welcome, everyone, to the True Detective Podcast, the subsidiary of our 2 cents. This is a show where we suck on Stephen Dorff and Mahershala Ali for about 20 minutes. Really don't talk about anything worth talking about.
Other than the same thing every week, bro.
Yo, I don't know if you know this, but Mahershala Ali, he's a great actor.
Yo, Dorff is his episode.
Every episode, I think at least 40% of the episodes so far, we've made that comment. It's like we're surprised he's in the show at this point. Like, how are we not used to seeing him in the show?
I know, right?
It's kind of crazy because I'll watch it and I'll see him. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's great in this.
Yo, Mahershala?
It's crazy. It's like watching a rookie get his first rebound. You're like, oh, yeah, he can play. All right. Like, yeah, well done, Stephen Dorff. Here's a cookie for your efforts. So if you had ghosts, episode 6, right? Five, man. Episode 5, sorry. Episode 5 aired on Friday because HBO don't want none of that Superbowl smoke.
I just see smart strategy.
Just smart.
I just see smart strategy.
Yeah, HBO. Thank you for that, by the way.
I still saw it on Sunday. No, Saturday.
Yeah. So that's nice of them. But anyway, let us talk. I'm going to run down really quickly what happens just to get everybody up to speed because, as usual, 13,000 things happen in 12 different area codes. Right. So it's better we're all on the same page.
To be up to date, just watch Mahershala's hair.
That's true.
Yeah.
Keep track of his hair or Dorff's sideburns.
Yeah.
It's the hair v sideburns fight of the century. Okay, 1980, the shootout happens with Woodard. Hayes ends up shooting him in the head, which was that gruesome. And then there's a subsequent aftermath at the hospital where him and Amelia get it on for the first time. That's right. We're making Southern loving down here.
I thought you were reading the synopsis. I'm like,
this is amazing. Who wrote this? Yeah, and then in 1990, they have dinner at the House of the Wests, where, again, just weird shit from Hayes and Amelia. I'm getting tired of this tension in this relationship.
A lot of sex and anger.
A lot of tension, man. That happens. They have the subsequent fight at home. There's a great scene of old-ass Hayes seeing kind of old-ass Hayes, and then
who sees
young Hayes. Young Hayes, great purple Hayes. Great sort of 3 sort of connection there. There's also the very important Freddie Burns interrogation.
Freddie Burns,
where he complains to Mahershala Ali about how he ruined his childhood because he was attached to this crime. And you still had a kid, though, so how bad could it have been? And then there's, of course... Oh, Jesus.
You're right.
There's, of course, the Julie call, where she calls in, there's a tape, plays, talking about, oh shit, oh, by the way, this is spoilers, and she talks about, oh shit, like, don't come find me, that sort of stuff. And then the 2015 version of our storyline, we meet Old Man Roland, who's now completely isolated himself from humanity, seems only cares for stray dogs, which, TBH...
That sounds like me in 40 years.
I'm down right now. Oh, that's true. I'm down right now. Give me cable, it's over.
No,
I can move out as we speak.
And dogs?
Hell yeah. Purple Hayes.
Yes.
Purple Hayes comes to meet him. They have that epic scene that for sure will solidify Dorff as a supporting actor nominee next Emmys round.
No. I don't know anymore because with the nominations I've seen.
I'm putting my stake in the ground. Stake firmly into the ground, Chris. I'll see you at the Emmys. Yeah, so that's everything that happens in the episode. Clearly not a lot. But let's
it's sarcasm. It's crazy.
Let's chat. What do you want to chat about first?
Everything.
All right. So let's start at the E.
Yeah.
Okay. E for everything. V for very everything. Yeah.
Well, all right, let's start with the shootout.
All right, let's start with the shootout. Yeah, let's move progressively, I guess, through the list, yes. So the shootout happens. Woodard basically tells Hayes, you're going to hold my... You're going to be the one to kill me.
Yeah.
All right, so he puts another burden on his shoulders to bear. Right, and I think there's that great scene where he sees Woodard's kids in the courtroom.
Yeah, it was kind of...
Yeah, it's very heavy. because he gets upset that he has to carry this around him now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't... Well, good call, by the way, because you predicted this would be the ending of the Woodard storyline.
Did I?
Well, I don't know if you said it would be this week, but you definitely said it would be last week.
I mean...
But regardless, it still came up.
When somebody puts a mine in front of their door, chances of them making it out alive, very slim. Very slim.
Well, someone brought up that it was... I think it was in the show. It was a suicide attempt. I mean, not really attempt because he's successful.
Yeah.
Because I think he knew Hayes would shoot him.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this
but
won't be
forced him to.
This won't be the first time Hayes will kill someone in the series.
No.
You know?
No.
I thought it was a really good scene. I think.
Yeah.
Fan service because I think.
It's not Cary Fukunaga's 6 minutes of hell.
Yeah.
But it's.
But I think you did.
It's brutal as shit.
You did need like a fast paced shootout scene.
Yeah.
I think every season has one.
What? No, didn't watch 2.
Well, I'm telling you.
Tell me something, brother.
God is love.
God is love, brother. Yeah, all right. Is this the
Stephen Dorff,
the Roland West impersonation podcast?
Yes, suck podcast.
Yes. We should just have like a suck of the week every week because it seems like we moved on from what's his name?
Mahershala.
No. Who do we have? What's his name? Momoa to Mahershala to now Dorff. So the suck of the week brought to you by
no one. Dorff.
We should probably collect pictures of these great actors and just pin them up on the wall. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So we had that. I thought it was a great sort of action sequence, actually. It was really gritty, bro. I think there's moments where you see body parts flying around because it's not like a completely explosive that landmine. It's more like meant to kill people within the vicinity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the dude's like blown apart at the door. It's disgusting. Yeah. And I mean, the aftermath is really important because I think it solidifies why he's in a relationship with Amelia. They're in a relationship with each other purely because of this shit that's happening. Yeah. They have zero other reasons to be together. And it's in a way sad that they ended up settling down with one another, right? I mean, this is a relationship that is clearly not based upon anything mutual other than this case.
Well, I think it's official now that
this was the reason.
Yeah. We're witnessing the collapse.
Yeah.
I think of their relationship because it's very toxic.
You know, I'm not even going to say collapse. I think it's just a realization that they were not meant for this shit.
Well, yeah, I don't even know why I'm saying collapse. Was it a high peak before?
I don't think they were ever in that 1990s one. I think they're like okay at best. They're never fine-tuned.
They're at best a 6.5, maybe a 7.
Yeah. And that at the Our 2 Cents podcast is not a great score.
Yeah, no. that's yellow zone.
Yeah.
But it's the back and forths they have is for me one of the.
Okay, so we're moving to the 80s. I mean, the 90s now.
Who knows, man?
Okay, so we're moving to the 90s. They go to the dinner scene with the Wests. Yes. I'm happy. I always love cops going to other cops' homes for dinner.
Oh, because it makes for great conversation.
Every detective show has this scene. I was watching. There's another show on Netflix.
Not The Wire. Go ahead.
I'm sure there's also a dinner scene in The Wire.
Is there? I don't know. I don't know.
So. Wow, that's great.
Maybe. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm watching Broadchurch on Netflix as well. Really good detective show as well.
Why are you starting other shows?
I started this a while ago. Oh. I had to pause it for this and Game of Thrones. But anyway, I'm probably going to finish that soon.
You stay whoring around.
That's what I do. But in Broadchurch, there's also this two detective dynamic. And of course, there's a dinner scene.
Ah, yes.
Right? There's always a dinner scene, I feel.
We got to have that.
Season 1 has it. McConaughey goes over to his house. Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
There's always one of these scenes because it's a great, kind of lazy now, way to give some exposition on the other detective and their home.
But not this one.
Not this one. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was a weird way of showing what Dorff's up to. I mean, not a weird way, but it was sort of a cookie cutter way
of showing. Like he sus. What he's up to.
Yeah, what is he up to? Living.
Yeah.
What a sus guy.
He literally lives.
He just lives. He just Lieutenant lives. But, yeah. And then, of course, they have the argument back and forth about, again, she brings up the case.
Yo, she's got it. She gets me mad. She gets me tight as fuck.
Yeah, I feel
Sorry for that, but I dropped an F-bomb.
Great. All right.
Now we're going to get that E next to our title.
Now no one's going to listen to us.
No ads. No, it's because I think Mahershala is completely right. Just like you're at the co-detective, whatever.
Co-detective, yeah.
Do you have to bring it up? I know it's like a topic of convo, but to get this deep into it.
Yeah, I feel like it's this constant falling back to only talking about that thing and not exploring much else about each other. And,
I can't believe that has been the staple of their relationship.
It's kind of sick, yeah. In a way,
crazy.
It's kind of sick that sort of. I mean, in a way, you can make a case that a lot of things in the world happen from terrible events, and I guess that's one quote good thing that happens from it. But yeah, so they have the argument. What happens after? Oh yeah, I think they
sex.
No, man, their kids come in.
Oh no! First of all, they're back and forths.
Yeah, very very intense.
But they're great because I both think they both come at each other with heat.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's well written, but it's getting to the point now. I think where it needs to give. Like you can't because they're sort of repeating themselves a little bit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, they get repetitive.
Yeah, so now we're like we got to get to some new ground. Like either you're not having these arguments anymore, or
you're gonna die,
or you got to say some wild shit. Like you got to.
You're gonna die.
Got to say his package is too small,
which is not true. Probably.
No, of course not. He's on the suck wall. He can't be
the suck wall. No one has.
You think Momoa has?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
Wow.
Moving on. I don't know. We're just dragging this just great establishment through the gutter today. Yeah. So after that, let's just move kindly right on. Freddie Burns' interrogation. Burns. He gives us some new information about they instead of him, implying that somebody else was looking for Julie with. I think is that what it was? Julie Bazil.
Oh, okay.
Somebody else was looking for her instead of just the boy. It was a weird scene because it really pissed off Hayes in the car. He really couldn't think straight.
Yeah.
And he has this very old man idea of like, oh shit, when I was 19, I was in the forest and in the jungle and all this shit, and this kid couldn't handle me like slapping him around.
Yeah, I realized that the convo is just like Dorf is trying to get into.
He's trying to talk about something else.
Yeah.
He's stuck on thinking about what he's very guilty about it. I do feel like he's guilty, and I think he's trying to convince himself, hey, screw this kid. Like I've had it worse. Doesn't make it better for the other person. By the way, to all the people in the world who do that, when you hear somebody complain, you don't give them another problem that you had to remedy the situation. This doesn't solve shit. Doesn't solve shit. Just let them, hear them out, which he doesn't do in this case, right? How do you feel about the tension between the two of them in the 90s as technically, West is supposed to be leading the unit, but clearly Hayes.
So,
yeah.
I think it's this week.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Which I'm probably wrong.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'll correct. I'll correct you if you're right, Chris.
They're interrogating someone. Is it the 90s?
That guy who walks in that says he knows Julie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think right away, Hayes.
West is talking to him in the beginning, and then
he cuts him off.
Yeah.
And so this is where I think it's toxic, and I think for me, this is just a prediction. I'm gonna forward a little bit because the last scene is just like
we're gonna get.
There's a tease that you did something to me.
Yeah.
I think he got him fired. I don't think he slept with his wife. Who's not some season 1 type.
No.
Thing.
Yeah, that was a weird angle in season 1. By the way,
he got him fired.
Yeah.
Or like he just got him out of position or something. Okay. That's what I think. I mean, I don't know what else.
Okay.
I mean, who knows?
Maybe. Oh, that's a good idea.
But I think.
Which Reddit user told you that one, Chris?
Why does he got to be a Reddit user? Huh?
Am I telling lies?
Look, is Reddit full of geniuses? Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I think it's a good dynamic because I think it goes from like decent relationship to crumbly.
Yeah. To 24 years of not talking.
Yeah.
Which is a great segue we have down here. But before we get to that, there's also the Julie call.
I was a little maybe just the delivery, but I felt a little awkward with it.
How so?
Again, maybe
Detective Chris.
She's just like, don't call, stop.
You feel like she's being coached. I feel like
I thought someone was telling her what to say.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the reason why I felt a little iffy about it because there was something off about it. I don't know about you.
She's definitely been sort of caught up in a cultish group, and I don't mean a cult in the sense that they're doing weird shit, but I mean like she's following a leader who's like convinced her that that's not her dad or whatever the case is, right? And she's caught up in that because she's speaking very clearly. So it's not like she's hiding to get this message across. She's very intentful with her words. So that's the thing I got. And again, the actor who plays the dad, man, damn, his breakdowns are like every episode now. Jeez, that man does not get a break.
Yeah, again, a little repetitive though.
A little bit. And then off we go to the
Well,
present.
what do you think of the call?
Well, I just told you. I don't think.
Well, no. What do you think of the scene though in general? I know you think the. Well, by the way, why are we back at the cults? Are cults
constantly? I mean, we're next, so we're clearly uncovering their secrets. They can't have that.
And they're gonna be like, you guys want numbers? You want viewers?
Down. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's too much information in the call itself. Clearly, again, as I said, she's being called forward by somebody else to do it. It's a little bit, in terms of the case, it seems like they just wanted to throw something in to move it along because this episode didn't have much about the mystery itself, about the case.
Character.
This is very much about the characters. And so I think their way of, I guess now with that lens, it does look a bit shoved in there where it's like a phone call from the missing girl. Like, wow, okay, how did that happen? Like, well, it's kind of out of the sky. And it did feel like that, very abrupt, for it to show up. Kind of like the letter was. But I think he explains the letter in this episode quite well.
It was the mom, right?
The mom may have sent it to herself to convince the dad to help the dad, which is a fair theory. I actually like the theory in the show itself. So I do hope this isn't just something that falls out of the sky and that there's a greater meaning as to how they came about with the message. So I guess that's that scene. And so on we move, finally, to the 2015 versions of Old Man West and Old Man Hayes.
Best scene of 2019 so far. Maybe it's oof.
It's a lot of oof.
It's big oof.
Big oofs. I mean, just from the moment I saw Roland as this old dude in like this.
You knew it was going to be so jokes.
Dude, I was laughing so hard when he came out and he's like feeding the dogs. He's like, you a lover, not a fighter, huh? And like with the little dog, and he grabs it. And he's like talking to him
Give
about.
you advice.
Are you listening? Dude, it is like, his charisma is so actually awesome. Insane. Every word he says, I'm like hooked. I'm hooked on every word he says.
You expect at least a good one-liner per episode.
Dude, the show writers have got this character down pat.
Well, and Mahershala too, but this one, I think...
The dialogue that's given to Roland West is so Roland Westy. It's hysterical, man. It is so good.
I'm glad.
And I was telling you before we started recording, when he sees him, Purple Haze, you're looking good. Who's that old man with you?
So good.
In reference to, his son. And you see Hayes just light up. He lights up. I haven't seen that old version of him laugh.
Because he knows that West hasn't lost a beat at all.
And they're like right back on it.
Yeah.
They're back on the same sort of, flow they were on 24 years ago. And then, they sit down.
My God.
And they have this conversation. Legendary conversation.
Dude, I adore that scene to a T.
Yeah, you saw it first and you gave me the heads up.
I told you, I'm like, dude,
this
is the scene, dog. And it's the chemistry, it's the delivery.
Yeah.
I think this was Dorf's episode.
Yeah.
Suckfest wall. Dorf.
Yes.
But right away, Mahershala matched it.
Yeah.
And there's no one-upsmanship.
Yeah.
It's just...
They're like feeding the same energy, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like Mahershala plays this character who's so lost, yet he feels so sorry that he causes person pain. Mm-hmm. And he tells him, like, I don't know what I did, but if I hurt you, like, I'm really sorry. And he's like, they're both crying too, which is insanely...
It's the first time you see West show emotion, though.
I think so, to this degree, absolutely to this degree, because he's always sort of cracking jokes and all this and that. So it was the first time. And you learn he really hasn't had he never got married, he never had kids. Uh-huh. So something happened to him also to lead him down this road.
Well, I think whatever
they did together.
What's Hayes? I'm stuck between Hayes
and West. Yeah.
Mahershala Hayes.
Yes.
I think whatever he did,
Yeah.
was a catalyst of just his downfall, of his downfall.
Both of their downfalls, potentially. Yeah, potentially.
But dude, he's just like, you don't get to judge me, mother.
Yeah. He tells him like, "Oh, you've been drinking a lot," and he's like, "I know what you did. I know what we did. Like, we're not gonna sit here now, and like judge each other, right?"
Dude.
It's great. I mean, we could just sit here and read the script, and I'll be giggling
That'll be
like
a good
an
episode.
idiot. But and I know how to kill time, but I don't want to dip my toe back into that shit.
So, I love it. He's so in like
everything he says fits the character so well, and it matches Ali's power in the show. And it's not like one is going overboard with their acting, dude. And I cannot stress this enough. It doesn't, at least in my book, to deliver a powerful scene, it doesn't mean you have to scream or yell, DiCaprio, to get your point across.
We're gonna get some dislikes on this.
It doesn't mean that.
So true. Go ahead.
Look, I like the guy. It's just sometimes he overdoes it. He overcooks his bacon, man.
But that's a trend, though. I think people are starting to catch on.
Yeah, thank God. Anyway, this scene is the opposite of that. These dudes are old as shit, frail as hell, can hardly move without snapping a hip, so they can't like go crazy. And yet they deliver a scene that will go down. It's probably the best scene in the entire show. Like you can easily of all seasons, you can argue this is the best scene. Acting wise, I'd be hard pressed.
Because
prove me wrong.
No, because it's Hot Take Tuesdays, and that's
Hot Take Tuesdays, yeah, and it is kind of warm.
That's true. It's good weather today.
Good weather in New York, yeah. Finally, geez.
Because the first season is so strong.
I'm not talking about monologue scenes, by the way. I'm not talking about McConaughey talking. That's not fair.
I don't know. The more I hear about the more I put my thoughts into it's just so pretentious, the monologue scenes from McConaughey.
Dude, the first season is beating you over the head with philosophy.
I get it. You hate the world, dog. Move on.
This is why this season is more. The characters are more enticing because you don't feel like I couldn't relate to McConaughey. I could relate to some of the stuff he said, but I can't relate to McConaughey. At least here you can feel West. You can feel Hayes.
Now you got me thinking now because that is. I gotta look.
Hot Tamale Tuesdays, dog.
Dude, no, you know what? Possibly.
This is easily a top 5 for me. Oh. You can compete for first. Yeah. You can compete for first. Pure acting, dude. It's going to stick with me for a long time.
I'm gonna watch it after this again.
Hell yeah, it's definitely worth a rewatch. Yeah. Any final thoughts on that?
I know we kind of. I keep saying yo, next week I think it's gonna be the one that hits the fan.
Well, this is it now, right? So
everything's set in motion.
Everything, all 3 timelines are now exploring the case again, right? So we had the first one, the second one picked up again, and then the third one picked up again. So we got 6 people looking for this girl across 3 timelines.
Well, are they looking for in the 2015 one still?
They are, yeah. I mean, they're doing it undercover. They don't need people to know.
Wouldn't she be 40?
Well, she would be. She would be kind of old. Yeah, she would be. Yeah.
Are they looking for her? Or are they just trying to find out what? Well, really
she's
happened?
12 in 1980, right? So yeah, 30 years ish. Yeah, she'd be about something like that.
I don't know, but again, this one I'm kind of. Well, they have 3 more episodes left, right?
There's a lot left, and we got the characterization padded down now.
So
the things we have to see are.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I think there's going to be overlap between the case and the characters' arcs. We're going to learn about things like why West lives alone, why Ali and his wife aren't together or are on a harsh ground because of the case. I feel like one is going to answer the other as opposed to we learn about things separately from one another, right? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like there's nowhere else to go now. You have to proceed with the case.
Yeah.
You have to. In all 3 timelines, you have to proceed forward with the case.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, I mean, you got... Well, that's the thing. Now you have another question, whereas what the hell did Ali... What did Hayes do to West?
Yeah.
You got that. You got Amelia's death.
Yeah.
That's going to come up eventually. You have the uncle
Yeah.
that you're maybe
Yeah. Well, you have that cop who's missing.
the cop was missing.
Yeah.
You're gonna have Hoyt Foods to deal with. Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have Hoyt Foods to deal with, and you're gonna have Purcell.
I think Hoyt Foods might not come into this. It might be dropped in, but I think next episode is gonna answer those questions about our characters, perhaps, and then move forward with the Hoyt.
But what happened to his relationship with his daughter?
Yeah, I mean that's
That
also
just
going to
dropped, though.
It didn't. I don't think it didn't because again, we had a reminder in this episode as well. He's so convinced that the girl is alive, and I think that speaks to his thing again about his guilt over not figuring this case out, right? And perhaps being that overprotective father coming back out again. Well, we don't know what happened to his daughter in the 90s. She's very young.
No, they say like she's making music.
Yeah, in the present day, but yeah, we don't know how they got to that point. But anyway,
Well, again, back to your point, it may be what happens with Amelia that could answer to that.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those situations where a couple of events happen, but it's going to settle down several pieces of the puzzle at once. And me saying things that really. What I just said right now, you can basically go last week and apply it. You go, Admir, you saying the same shit. I'm not going to disagree.
You crazy, man.
This is the very obvious podcast with Chris and Admir.
Obvious 2 cents.
Obvious 2 cents podcast. Yeah. All right.
Best episode?
It's definitely up there. I need to think about it. I really don't know because this scene is very powerful, so it definitely helps it in that.
Well, I think
argument.
it's the last scene that's going to stick with us. That's
Yeah, I mean the last scene definitely. Looking forward to it as usual. Yeah,
We're getting down to the wire.
Am I ever going to say I'm not looking forward to a True Detective episode? Lol. Well, I didn't see season 2, so maybe.
Are you going to watch that eventually?
Potentially, I don't know.
You don't
Maybe
have
on
to,
the
technically.
dog days of summer when I'm at work doing dog shit, I'll like put it on. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for hanging with us as always.
Yeah.
This was If You Have Ghosts. What a great title, by the way. Catch us next week. We'll be reviewing something and also True Detective.
Is it Green Book? Are we finishing the Oscar?
We might. I don't know. We have to check what's coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
As always, appreciate the SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher interactions. Not D'Amico on Twitter. The Blue Yank on Twitter. Peace.
Deuces.